I just finished with Eric Bounce on the Resilience Mind podcast. Had such an amazing time with him. Dude, Eric is a dope superstar found in the space of the deep thoughts that are profound, that really elevate life. So enjoy.
Welcome everybody to the Resilient Minds podcast. I'm super excited, blessed, and grateful to have my dear friend, Mr. Chris Crone, on the podcast today. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. It's good to be here, Eric.
It's good to have you, man. For those of you that don't know Chris, Chris is tremendous. He's doing amazing things in the world, but more importantly, he's a business coach. He's a best-selling author. He's a world-class speaker and life-changing breakthrough mentor. So for over a decade now, Chris has really empowered people to grow their wealth, their health, and their personal power through his innovative approaches to real estate investing and his powerful limitless belief breakthrough. Chris helps people bridge that gap between where they are and the results they want to create, the results of their potential demands. Learning to break through the beliefs that have held him back is essential to all of Chris's successes. He's sharing his knowledge, has become a passion and a purpose for him. And his second and third books, The Conscious Creator and Limitless, Reclaim Your Power, Unleash Your Potential, Transform Your Life, respectively, teach people the mindset behind creating the life they want with these principle-based teachings. And Chris's live experiences have been transformation for thousands of people, it's coming up real soon. Before creating his unique live experiences, Chris mentored thousands of people in creating, managing, protecting, and growing wealth through innovative real estate investment and other strategies. He's an expert wealth coach with great expertise founding in real estate, cryptocurrency, and even blockchain. But at the center of all this, Chris lives to serve. He lives to serve for those who are suffering, and he really wants to help them discover their own greatness to command better results of themselves, results in their health, results in their wealth, results in all of their relationships. And breakthrough is the pathway to producing your most epic results. In single and short, the message Chris really wants to share with this world is simple. You don't have to suffer, you don't have to hurt, and you can create the masterpiece to your life. Brother, welcome.
Eric, I appreciate it, man. So excited to connect with you again and to be here.
As always, bro, it's so fascinating. We really, connected a couple of weeks ago, and I just felt this immediate connection. It's fascinating. I always share when you can share and hear people's heart, it doesn't matter whether you talk to them over the phone, you speak to them in person, you meet them over Zoom, you feel that energy is infinite, and it's a collective consciousness. And I felt that with you, brother. And I just want to really thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast today, because, there's so many things that you're doing that I think more people need to know about. And obviously it's empowering for so many others, but more importantly, bro, it's just good to connect.
Awesome. Eric, I appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully I can create some value for everyone listening and watching today.
I love it, dude. So, I always go into the Resilient Minds podcast and I talk about, how our big X factor, which I call, or our experiences, which I call our X factor, contribute to our Y factor, our mission, our vision, our purpose. And I really, as I've continued to evolve in my own journey, I know that's it's so present in these experiences that really cultivate where I'm headed or where I want to go or how I want to serve. And, for me, why I do that is because it's allowing others through my essence of living to share what that means in others by living a life by their own design. So for you, I just wanted to understand is there has been countless defining moments in so many people's lives that really change the trajectory of whichever route they decide to go. And those experiences are there's a certain evolution to them in the way that we perceive them or look at them or whatever lens that we decide to create from them. what is it, or has there been like a numerous element of these experiences that have allowed you to really create this big why? Because you've done so many things, brother. You've done so many things, and these experiences have been so fundamental to your growth. But has there been like a defining moment that has
Yeah.
allowed you to really cultivate and understand, wow, I want to create my why, and I'm going to go after it, and I'm going to create a way, or I'm going to make one?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Eric. I think I've had several moments in my life that have been defining. I think I continue having them, but the first experience that I had that I think really opened me up to feeling way more conscious in my life, and really with the desire to live a meaningful life, was when I nearly drowned in the ocean. I was 18 years old, and I was taking my last vacation with my family before leaving the house and going to college and moving on with my life. And I was going to serve a 2-year mission for my Christian church. So in that wake of leaving my family, we took a trip to Portland, Oregon, where we took my sister and I, my younger sister and I, we were swimming, and we had gone out way too far, found a riptide. It was pulling her deeply out to sea. And I was a trained lifeguard, and I knew that I was going to watch my sister drown. I tried to get help. No help was going to come in time. We were so far out. And I made this, in a moment, it felt like this heroic decision. I was going to jump out and I was going to save my sister. And so I made that decision. I knew I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't. So I swam out to her very quickly. But as I started trying to swim her back in, she's tall. I'm 6'4". She's big like I am. She's 6'2". And I did not have the strength. I didn't have the stamina. I didn't have the ability to swim her back in. So we were just treading water, and both of us were getting pulled out to ocean. And she was getting to the point where she was so tired that she was having a hard time keeping her head above water. And I just thought in that moment, I'm going to drown. She's going to drown. This is it. And as an 18-year-old, I felt like I hadn't really created any value on this planet. I hadn't done anything with my life. I was just exiting childhood. And, honestly, something miraculous happened. A single wave came and carried my sister and I back in till we could stand waist high. It was genuinely a miracle, unexplainable. And I remember walking out of that ocean thinking, I need to figure out why I'm still alive, because I shouldn't be. I need to figure out why I'm here. And I came to realize in that moment this deep conviction that there's purpose in all our lives, and we have to figure out what it is, and then we have to live it and honor it. And so that was a moment that definitely I've never forgotten. I feel like I live every day with this heightened passion of spend it all. A few years ago, I lost a friend in a plane crash, and the very last post he made on Facebook, he said, "I'm so tired. I spent all of my talents. I've got nothing left to give. I can't wait to go to bed tonight." He died that night. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I want to live every day of my life knowing that I left nothing on the table. And I think that's the way I've been living my life ever since.
Brother, profound journey. Like what an experience to really help you see and give you that breakthrough to really understand like what is that next defining moment that you're going to really live and use it for good, as that force for good. And you've been on this profound journey since 18, and it's been, like you said, countless defining moments, and through seeing, friends pass, or your experiences in your businesses and clients, and what had happened and what continues to happen in your belief system as you continue to grow. Because my question to you, not only on top of this, is like, and do you still believe those things, or do they change over and over and over again?
Good question. In my journey, I think all of us spend money on something that we feel a little guilty about. Like, I spend way too much money on personal development, mentors and coaches, because I love learning from other people's lifelong experience. And most of the time they have these special questions they've collected in life that when they ask me just have a profound impact. And one of those mentors asked me a question that really rocked my world. That question had to do with what was really the genuine purpose of my life on this planet. And I've spent more time thinking about that than anything else. And one of the things that I learned in working with mentors is that Purpose has seasons. It's something that shifts and changes, but it's tied very closely to our belief system. And I've learned, in my world, I personally believe there is intelligence in this universe. I believe in God. But I also believe that God does not control the majority of almost anything. I think God's got like a handful of directives. And if you think about all the other things that we can believe about in life, it's up to us. When I wake up in the morning, like, do I wake up late or do I sleep in? Dude, that's on me. When I go to the fridge for breakfast, do I grab something healthy or unhealthy? That's on me. Do I believe in exercising in the morning? That's on me. Do I believe in earning more than I need and giving that money away or becoming materialistic and consuming it? That's on me. Like, all of these things are on me, and they're all driven by belief. And so along the way with my mentors, I've had a chance to map out 10,000 different beliefs that construct our perception. And I've had fun tinkering with those over the years and altering beliefs that alter my perception, that open certain doors and close other doors. And I've become ultimately fascinated with, beyond having and feeling like there's a higher purpose in life, believing that we get to weigh in on that with the use of our own agency, just by virtue of what we choose to believe. My life is constructed with, I wake up early, I go to the gym, I do a 3-hour power hour, I spend time meditating and connecting, I spend a certain amount of time with my wife and with my kids, things that bring fulfillment and happiness. I limit the amount of time that I work, because too much doesn't feel good and too little doesn't feel good. Like, everything in my life is now by a design that is fulfilling beliefs that I have and ultimately fulfilling a greater purpose that I feel inside.
Wow. And I think that the way that you share that and the conviction you share that with is obviously, it's been something that you've created and understood in a way that has allowed you to improve it throughout throughout the journey. Now, what would you suggest to somebody that may be, not as able or understanding? What would you, if you could give a message to somebody that is just starting in their own journey, that is just, really curious and interested in that evolutionary process? Because, brother, what you're sharing with me and what I'm hearing is tremendous altering of that perception, of those lenses, of that understanding in yourself. And as a result, you've really created this beingness of who you are every day, and being very present and convicted in that person. But also, it sounds like a lot of surrender to that intelligence, that creator, God, that you have. So if somebody is like really lost right now, and there's this experience that they don't know, but they're curious, there's curiosity, what would you tell them today?
I would tell them this: you are not your thoughts. I think most of us believe that we are what we think. So if we think negative thoughts, we think we are those thoughts. If we think positive thoughts, we are those thoughts. And in the process of in becoming enlightened or awakened, or in other words, becoming conscious to your thought processes, I think we first come at life just believing that's just the way it is. And it's not. You are not what you believe. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are a tool. They're things that just happen, but they can be directed. What I would suggest, Eric, is that we all just pause and start just creating first an awareness of what we think about, and then questioning it. I question everything. I have a thought. Have you ever had this crazy experience where you're driving on the road over a bridge and you're over the water high up, and you just think for a moment? I might be the only crazy person, but I find that a lot of people have this thought. It's like, if I just were to yank really hard on the steering wheel and go over the edge, what would happen? And fortunately, most of us don't execute that thought. And it's because you're not that thought. Just because you think it doesn't mean you are it. I think all our thoughts deserve to be questioned. And when you're not directing them, they're happening to us, and they're on repeat, and it's broken record and over again. We also get what we practice. So, I find that in life, a lot of our negative thinking, which, by the way, closes doors, is there from childhood moments that were traumatic for us, or at least in perception, if not in actual reality. I get a test back in 5th grade. I don't like my grade. I look at my teacher frowning at me, and I draw a conclusion: I'm stupid. Most people go through life, they had an experience in elementary school or junior high where they've reinforced this notion that they're not smart enough. And they have different ways of saying it. I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. Well, those ideas, those are worth questioning because they're not true. I mean, the reality is you're brilliant in your ways. And of course, there's subjects that you suck at. I can't spell for the life of me. That doesn't mean that I'm a stupid person. It just means that I'm not on this planet to win the spelling bee. So I think people got to become aware, Eric, of their thoughts, and then we should judge them. We should ask, does this thought serve me or does this thought hurt me? Does it cater to my greatness or does it minimize me and invite feelings of sadness or depression? And I think the start of the journey is just learning how to silo good thoughts from negative thoughts and understand this. Your negative thoughts hurt you. They close doors. They do not open the doorways of possibility. They don't bring more wealth in. They don't bring in more happiness. They don't make you more connected to this planet and people on it. They don't connect you to yourself, who you really are as a person. And so if you can become aware of the thoughts that don't work, then you're also smart enough to figure out that you don't have to believe them anymore because you are not your thoughts.
Epic, brother. Like, so epic. And coming into that thought process of like, immediately when you said that, I'm thinking of that statue, the thinker, like he's sitting there and thinking. And yeah. And what fascinates me is we think of ourselves so often as thinkers. What if we could start looking at ourselves as people being observing those thoughts? And that's what I'm hearing is like, how profound would that shift, recognizing that those observations coming from that, objective point of view allows us to then make a decision based off of which one we judge, like you said, we judge or we question or we, agree or disagree with, and how we can make those distinctions moving forward in our life, whether it's in our relationships, our business, our wealth, whatever it looks like. And, that's something that I really would love to pivot to, because I think that resilience and cultivating that is super powerful when we're inside of that observer mind. And that resilience, that ebb and flow of our experiences on this life is what really cultivates true success, I believe. I'm not saying that, maybe there's people out there that disagree, but I believe. So in your process, in the way that you're able to show up for your clients through the mastermind that's coming up, or the way that you're able to provide value to the world, brother, describe a process where you're able to really enhance people's understanding in whether it was in real estate, whether it was, in their own health, whether it was in their own mindset through breakthrough or proximity, through influence. What is it that allows that resilience? And how is that conditioned approach, or unconditioned to some, cultivated in every person that really makes that influence or crosses that barrier to make an impact in the world?
Yeah, that's a really good question. In my business, I'll help people. I've done $1 billion of real estate. So I help people build high ROI portfolios, or people will come to me, Eric, because they want to access 50 of my different proven side hustles, businesses where people can replace their income. Because I don't believe that people should spend 40 or 50 hours a week doing a job they don't believe in. And unfortunately, 87% of us are that unconscious, and we just tolerate it. And we wish we had an out sometimes, but we don't know what to do. So when people come and hang with me, I challenge them to do really hard things. I mean, you think about making $1 million in business or real estate, or challenging some of your own mindset stuff. And you're asking a great question, which is, all right, so people want more, but what actually makes the difference on whether they do? And ultimately, it comes down to having a process of getting out of your comfort zone. Everything currently inside your comfort zone can only deliver what you have. And if you don't leave your comfort zone, then this year will manifest more of what you got last year. But I believe that we are here on this planet to grow. And if we're not, we're growing, we're dying. One of my mentors, Tony Robbins, loves to say that. And there's so much truth to that. So every day I look for opportunities to push myself outside of my comfort zone, because that's the only place where real life is lived. I feel like that's when we're our most conscious, our most present. Like, extreme example, we jump out of a plane together and we're skydiving. I promise in that moment, you're not thinking about what you're going to have for dinner that night. Staring into your face, and you're literally thinking, I'm going to die, or I hope this parachute works, or I want to live, because you're outside of your comfort zone. And so the only life worth living for me is outside of my comfort zone. So I challenge myself every day to get out there. Well, when people come to my live events or when I work with people, I've learned that I can't just say, oh, here's the strategy for building wealth. Here's the strategy for creating business successfully. Here's the strategy. For the strategy without the right mindset ultimately is not going to yield sustainable, positive change that we're all hoping for, which means that for a person to really create permanent positive change in their life, there is a psychological component where you have to face something that was limiting you and exchange it for something that expresses a more limitless version of you. For me, it's something I call breakthrough. By the way, anyone that is here on this call, I've written several books, but one of them in particular, called Limitless, documents how you can be in charge of your own transformation. It basically shares my process for breakthrough that I do with people on stage, that I've done with thousands of people. This has saved people from suicide. This has corrected some of the most undesirable behaviors that people couldn't figure out before. That book is free to all of you. At the end, I'll give you all my cell phone. You can text me and I'll give you a copy of it for free.
Love it.
Just as a gift. But for me, that's a version of breakthrough, something that pulls you outside of your comfort zone, that challenges a belief that limits you, and then exchanging it for something positive and limitless.
Dude, what I'm hearing is expansion, like just expansion, expansion, expansion. And what I love is understanding that is where outside of our comfort zone is that we continue to cultivate this new essence of who we are. And let me just share something really profound, because you nailed it on the head with like, wow, we can be expanded in one area of your life. And immediately, like, I'm thinking, how can we apply that to a different area of our life? And for myself, I really understood this where, you know, I love that expansiveness of business, for example. And what I remember is that I've always had expectations inside of a relationship. And there was like this outcome that had to be there. And once I let that go and I realized that, hold on, that excitement of expansiveness and uncertainty inside business, if I can approach that and apply that to a relationship, how much more present and excited am I in each moment of that relationship? And that was like, whoa, bro. So like, that was for me, like what you just shared was like breakthrough moment. So thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome, Eric.
So, you know, I really want to just, pivot a little bit further is, you know, you have these values, brother, you know, you obviously show up with tremendous integrity. You know, you're results driven, you're value focused, you want to make a huge impact in the world, and you are. How do these regularly show up in your work today? And how do you make them better each day? Because that's something that, you know, that both, you know, our, like, as you mentioned, Tony, our mentor, talks about that constant and never ending improvement that we want to evolve into. So how does that continue? How do you make that always a better approach to serve the people?
Yeah. So a couple of things. I'm going to provide a couple of answers. The first one is fairly technical.
I love
it. A few years ago, I discovered that a myopic version of myself really felt that I knew what was best for strangers. Millions of people every month watch my videos. They connect with me on all my social platforms. I got 1 million followers. And when people come to me for advice, I used to tell them what they should do. And I've since learned that I don't really know what's best for people. Like, people know what's best for them. And so I started actually doing split testing in my business. And I started, split testing is a way where anytime someone interacts with a virtual version of me, like a website, we started testing everyone's preferences. I wanted to know from my people, what do they really care about? What do they really want? And the moment I went from what I think is most important to what they think is most important, everything changed. Frankly, in 6 months, my business grew 400%. So the results didn't suck. They were pretty awesome. But I actually derived way more satisfaction just from knowing that I wasn't delivering what I thought was best. I was delivering what they wanted from me. And so that's just the first thing that comes to mind is, there's just, I think, a selfish part of me that just thinks I know best. And the more I distance myself from that part of me, the better, the more capable I am of creating an experience that other people need. The second thing is, I used to put a lot of emphasis in my life on results. Like I need more growth, I need more money, I need, I need more success. And I got to a point where for years now, more money hasn't changed my lifestyle. More wealth hasn't changed in fact, my lifestyle hasn't changed in a decade. How I live my life every day financially and the amount of money I spend to create my ideal life hasn't shifted. What has had to shift then is my why. And I've had to shift from being success focused and results focused to being value focused and really focusing on how can I give more. This last year, my wife and I started our charitable foundation, and 2021, it's one of my big focuses where we help people all over the world, people that come out of child sex slavery, people that come from abusive relationships, people that are struggling in their mindset. My foundation does my breakthrough work for free for them. And we're donating those sessions and those therapists, if you will, to people all over the world. That brings me way more fulfillment. Like it's Christmas time almost. And my wife's like, Chris, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, this is going to sound really weird, honey, but I don't really want anything except for I just want to open a bunch of cards. And she says, well, what are these cards? I said, well, I want to open a card that says that we donated, 10,000 meals to this organization. I want to open this card that said that we helped, 1,000 people in Africa, solve this problem. Help me create an impact for Christmas. What do I want? I just want to help more people, and I don't want to be recognized for it. I just want to have a beautiful moment to know that more of our financial resources help people. I know on the outside, Eric, that sounds like really altruistic, like, oh, wow, Chris is like some Mother Teresa, but it's very different. It's selfish. It's a different selfishness. It's me wanting to know that what is significant to me now is how much I help people rather than how much I get. And that's the shift that has continued to push me to really grow at new levels.
Giving more than you expect to receive, and you live a fulfilled life, right? And brother, it's extremely touching, and it's I'm humbled to be able to know you like in this essence and really connect with you in this way, and sharing your vision, your authenticity, the way that you want to show up in the world and how you are. That to me is like, what brilliant leader, what a brilliant, individual you are. And I just want to acknowledge that, because I think that so many people are driven by different elements of their success. And what I love, and whether we know each other from the Platinum Brotherhood or family, to me it's like the common foundation is like, how can we really serve the planet in a better way, and leave a legacy full of like ways that we've left something behind and made other people, that ripple effect essentially,
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for you, bro, because what you do, and I feel your heart, and it's like amazing to watch this path of success that you continue to be on and you've cultivated over the last decade. And now it's like, it's a new version, but that new layer that you're creating, and it's amazing to watch, bro. And we've known each other for maybe a month, like maybe a couple of weeks, like really, really better. And as we continue to go on our journey as friends, I'm sure it'll cultivate in a different way. But like that is immediate, and I just want to yeah, man, I see that, and it's just like, it's cool. It's cool. It's a blessing to see that. So you've given us such a path to success, bro, in so many different ways. And I know, I want to be conscious of the time that we have, but what would you say is one reason why people would fail in any of these focus points?
I think childhood taught us failure. I think most of us, think how it takes 15 years to try to evolve into an adult mind. We're the slowest evolving creature on the planet. We're the slowest growing creature on the planet. A giraffe is born standing up to run away from the lion. And it takes us like years to like just not poop our own pants. So we, we're on a fascinating journey, our own ways of growth and success. And in childhood, I think We just learn, hey, try one time or two times or three times. And if you fail, then you failed. And we learn to give up so fast because children do. And I think that we need to, when we become an adult, we need to put childish ideas away. And I think we need to challenge those ideas and start asking, what ideas do I think that need to be leveled up? There are some people, for example, watching this, Eric, that live a life of depression. And the only reason why they're depressed is because they practice sadness, because they rehearse painful memories of their past. If that's you, stop doing that. Just stop. Just stop. I promise you that if you'll take the same tactic and start thinking about all of your best memories in life, you will become a happier person. Just stop and develop this awareness for, what am I doing? Am I just robotically going through my life, eating the same thing for breakfast every morning with the same pattern, always showing up either early or late, having the same 60,000 recycled thoughts a day? Wake up and ask, how can I shake things up and make today a day I've never lived before? Make it a day of conscious presence. Make it a day where you challenge what isn't working. Make it a day where you rise above what is broken. Make it a day where you challenge your status quo. Make it a day where you say, today gets to be the best day of my life because I declare it. And I don't care what happens. I don't care what people say. It's because I'm choosing to live. Wake up to that level of consciousness and choose to literally have the best day of your life no matter what happens.
Epic, dude. Thank you for sharing that, because that epic level of consciousness is what we can all collectively choose to tap into, and from that essence we can actually create magic. I've sensed it, I've felt it, I've been blessed to be in that type of presence, and that those forms we all can tap into together, like in our different ways. So, brother, I just want to really thank you for taking the time, jumping on the call, jumping on the podcast. And I have one last question. First of all, if anybody wants to connect with you, bro, if anybody wants to know more about you, if anybody wants to, find out more information about the brilliance that you are, the amazing things that you're doing in the world, what's the best way they can reach out to you?
Today I'm going to do it a little different. I'm actually going to hand out my cell phone, and I'm just going to say, shoot me a text. If any of my books, if you want them, they're free. I've got wealth books and mindset books. And if I can do anything that will be a benefit, then grab that. Here's my phone number. Let me see. I think we've got it written down here. Is that
Beautiful.
The right way?
138. Go ahead.
Yeah. 385-217-3477. So 385-217-3477. Just shoot me a text and connect. And if there's a lot of you watching today, it may take me a little bit to siphon through and get back to you. But listen, if I can be useful or helpful or create value for you, connect with me and let's create that together.
Amazing. And I'll add those in the show notes too, brother. So if anybody, didn't get it, just make sure you check out the show notes. So last question for you, bro. Last question. If you had 3 days left to live, what would you do?
Honestly, if I had 3 days left to live, I would just spend 3 days with my wife and my kids. They're my highest priority, and creating memories with them. I once had someone ask me, Chris, I work so much and I have so little time. How do I create a meaningful moment with people I care about? And I let them know that you don't need a quantity of time to do that. What you need is the ability to create a moment. And if you'll just pause and take the person you love and shut your mouth and look in their eyes and just connect with them. The eyes are the window of the soul. It doesn't take, maybe 10 seconds to get past the awkward, what's happening right now. And within the next 30 seconds, you can't help but feel their brilliance and emotional connection, meaning. And so I think if I had 3 days left on this planet, I'd do more of what I try to do every day with my loved ones, which is to pause and be present and to connect with them and to create that emotional meaning that drives every fiber of our motivation and decision-making power in life.
Brother, touching, man. Presence has been so important in my life, and I just want to thank you for that. That's been so powerful. Brother, thank you again. Thank you for your time. Is there anything you want to share? Any last moments? Any last regards? Anything you wanna fire off to the audience?
I just want to let all of you know that your life holds meaning and purpose. Take an opportunity today. Choose to silence your mind and ground and just listen and connect deeper with who you really are. Because when you do, it will help awaken deeper passion and fervency for whatever you're aiming at and whatever it is that you're doing in life. So just take time to pause and connect.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much, bro. And for anybody that's coming on here, make sure you like, share us, tag us on Instagram. We'll be sharing this. So much love to you guys. Blessings. Ciao.
Take care.